Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Star Trek The Lower Decks, Season 3. So, as always, I'm going to give the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, it's a Star Trek animated TV show, so there is a lot of furry-esque creatures slash aliens that make an appearance. And some of them matter to the plot, some of them are just background. Enjoy. Okay, moving on to the good and bad. I will say that this is Season 3, and when you click in the description, you're like, oh, okay, so I see the review for Season 1. Where's the review for Season 2? I didn't make one, because either Season 2 was supposed to be 20 episodes, and then they decided to split it in two, and I was going to wait for the other 10 episodes to come out, and then they decided to make it a Season 3 instead of a Season 2 Part 2. Or I was just so annoyed at the cliffhanger nature of the end of Season 2 that I just didn't. But I am making this one. So, in summary, Season 2, also good, if I remember correctly. This season, also good. What I love about Star Trek Lower Decks is that it feels like it's made by people who loved 90s to 2000 Star Trek. Or, I mean, even 60s to 2000 Star Trek. Like from Star Trek the original series, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise. Like all of those people, it seems like those people that loved that Star Trek making this Star Trek. Unlike people in Star Trek like in Star Trek Picard Season 1, who just shit all over the memory of all that. So we're going to ignore that. But yeah, so it seems like that they understand the funny things and some of the contrived nature of the problems that Star Trek sometimes presents itself in order to have the episode commence. And maybe, okay, I guess technically this was for Season 2, so spoiler for Season 2. But at the end of Season 2, if I remember, because where it actually starts, I rewatched the last episode. Anywho, there's some planetoid that exploded with things that shut down the power if even one little bit of it gets in the system, and they're magnetic, and so they have to take off the hull plating in order to fly through the debris cloud in order to rescue a ship that had gotten blasted by it and is totally without power. It's going to become an asteroid and destroy this whole planet, right? Very complicated problem, but one of the guys who has one of the guys says, hey, why don't we just warp to the other side? And everybody's like, what are you doing? No, we can't do that. No, that's not how that works. It's like, no, but it kind of is how that works. But that wouldn't be fun and give them an opportunity or a reason or excuse to take off all the whole plating because the plating's magnetic and the rest of it isn't somehow. Sure, why not? And then just the fact that our Lower Decks crew they're fans of all the people that we knew in Star Trek. They know about all the exploits because, of course, if you're responsible for saving the universe and saving the galaxy or saving the Federation or being part of these huge treaty negotiations multiple times, people are going to know you. And it's great that they appreciate that they're stepping through history, that they're like, oh, I remember this part. Oh, let's go do the thing. Now, is some of their knowledge a little extreme to be able to know some of the things that it seems like only we as viewers would have seen, the private moments? Sure, but I don't care because it's fun. It's just awesome. And let me just tell you, if you like Star Trek First Contact or Star Trek Deep Space Nine, let me tell you, there are a couple of episodes that are just fantastic, that just pay homage to them, they're like, yeah, we know you like this, so we're going to give it to you in all of its HD animated glory. And it's great to see them, and I love that they get the actual voice actors from past Star Treks, because, this is set sometime after Deep Space Nine's war, and after Voyager getting back. Spoiler for Voyager if you haven't seen that 7 seasons. Oops! So it's set after all that, and obviously, the actors have aged 20 some odd years, but the characters don't necessarily have to, because you can have a voice actor voicing their younger selves much easier with this style of animation. So it's fantastic to hear and to see the actors that you remember hearing and seeing in other Star Treks, to see, hey, what are some future things that we can see them up to? And I don't want to spoil all of the events. Actually, I don't want to spoil any of them because it's so awesome to hear and see. But just rest assured that I think that this Star Trek is treating older Star Trek right and appreciating it, even if they are like lampshading a couple of things that are ridiculous, but they're doing it in a loving way. And that's what I like about this show, is that it takes some things to the extreme because they're animated so they can, jump higher and kick harder, and their bodies can take a little bit more abuse on things. And obviously, like, exploding things are a little bit less graphic when it's not like actual human blood or whatever. It's just like, oh no. And just the amount of effects that it would take to render like a whole underwater scene or like a whatever scenes, like they're able to do that with an animated budget a lot easier than having photorealistic like live action thing. And so I appreciate that they take advantage of the medium that they are using while still really appreciating the Star Treks that came before in such a loving way, while also making us care about these people. And I think that they're doing it in such a good way because they exploring as much of like what it means to be human and what is a human condition? Not as often, but they're still doing it in an entertaining way where you're caring about the characters, there's character development, there is the overall season arcing things where there's like foreshadowing and references and callbacks and that sort of thing for the whole arc, sometimes throughout the whole season, or like the whole series. And then they're also a little bit, not as much, but a little bit exploring what the human condition is, while still having a fun time of it and having action and just the fun bickering that if you've seen episodes like season 1 and hopefully season 2, but then you've come to enjoy. So I thoroughly enjoy this show. I absolutely loved every minute of season 3, and this isn't really a spoiler, but they didn't end it on a cliffhanger like they did for season 2. So I really appreciated that they didn't end it on a cliffhanger. So it felt satisfying, but I still want to see more, so I hope that this show continues to get renewed until it, like, before, but stops getting renewed before it gets old or whatever. But so far, they've done a fantastic job with our characters, both the lower decks and the bridge crew and everything else. So if you haven't already, first, watch my season 1 review below, and 2, give this show a shot if you liked Star Trek back in the 60s, 90s, and 2000s, okay? That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.